Hello, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I know I'm not wearing my I Love Friday shirt today, and I'm doing a Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th video. Again, I know, sue me, ladies and gentlemen. I love this movie. It is my favorite franchise, so we're going to talk about it. This article came out a few days ago by Cathal Gunning over on Screen Rant, and I just wanted to talk about it. Friday the 13th reboot should copy a forgotten 80s horror. And the article goes on to talk about how Friday the 13th should borrow from CHUD 2, Bud the CHUD, a movie I've never seen. I barely remember seeing the first CHUD. And the only time I ever hear the word CHUD is it's when it's in a comment section used by some weird leftist as an attempt to own somebody who they deem is, you know, less than them or CHUD, you know. But we're not going to get into all that. We're going to talk about this, and I read through the article, so I want to give you my thoughts on it. This doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of in the process of writing a new outline for how they can revitalize this franchise. And I don't like this concept. I don't like it. They go into detail about how Jason was unknowingly, or CHUD was, Bud the CHUD or whatever, was unknowingly released by two teenagers who found him in, he's like cryogenically froze or something. I don't know. But this is what happened, and they say, you know, that kind of along the same lines, the military tried to weaponize him or whatever, and it goes awry and da-da-da-da-da. And that's what they think this writer of this article says that Jason should happen to Jason. And all I can do is think back to Jason X, Jason, you know, Jason in space. And it doesn't make any sense to me. It's a stupid concept. The military trying to weaponize Jason Voorhees is as dumb as the military or these private defense contractors trying to weaponize fucking dinosaurs in the Jurassic World franchise. It made no sense. It's the dumbest concept. Like, okay, I know he's an unstoppable killing machine, but you're talking about weapons of war. So Jason's going to walk up to a tank and what? Rip into the tank and just murder everybody inside it? No, he's going to get either run over, shot, blown up. And I'm sorry, there's no way to explain if he's completely blown up how he's going to get, you know. That, to me, if you want to restart the franchise, starting it out on a stupid note like that doesn't really make much sense, because you kind of paint yourself into a corner there and leave yourself nowhere to go. Fans, I can say this as somebody who truly loves this franchise. I don't want to see this adapted into the modern age. I don't want to see a modern twist put on this. That being said, I'd like to see it return to form, and as bad as this might sound, formula. Now, there's a formula that made these movies fun. That was camp setting, stupid counselors, unstoppable killing machine, violence ensues, final girl. You can do that still and make it interesting. And I don't know why these folks can't grasp that concept. And they're, oh, well, we need to do this. And it was like the 2009 Platinum Dunes Friday the 13th. You tried to make Jason into Leatherface. Jason is not Leatherface. Jason is a supernatural force of vengeance. He's an entity kind of along the same lines as Michael Myers. There is a physical embodiment, but it's much different than him being an actual human. That to me makes no sense. Obviously, Friday the 13th, Part 5, we had Roy the ambulance driver. It was a departure from the series, absolutely. But did that make it bad? No, not in retrospect. At the time, yes, I'm sure it was jarring, much the way Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was to people who loved Halloween 1 and 2. And then you get to part 3, and there's no Michael Myers. The only Michael Myers in the movie is the Halloween movie ad on television. Making Jason into, this franchise into something it's not is almost the same as just sounding the death knell for it. You might as well just make another Jason Goes to Hell. Or another shit reboot that nobody's going to care about in 2 years except people who want to bag on it, and in 5-10 years down the line when they look at how bad it was. And I say this of being a fan of this franchise since the 1980s. The first one was great with Betsy Palmer, and we're going to get into the second article we have that talks about that. Friday the 13th reboot shouldn't focus on Jason Voorhees. They lean into the series restarting and focusing on Pamela Voorhees. Now, I will read a little bit from this article, and we've seen the story play out. Now, have we got all the development that we would need out of Pamela? Probably not, but here's the caution. Do we really need a female-centric Friday the 13th that focuses on the backstory of Pamela Voorhees in the manner this writer suggests, okay? Now, I'm gonna read a little bit from this just because I want you to fully understand what they're talking about here and see why I think this is a bad idea. You're all doomed. Now, Pamela is quite an intriguing character, as she was revealed to be the killer at Camp Crystal Lake in 1980. She hated how counselors were off having sex, allowing Jason to drown, so she went on a murder spree in the name of revenge, eventually got killed, which inspired Jason to take up her crusade and reciprocate her love. But all the Jason movies would end up the same, with him killing, performing superhuman acts, and doing the same thing Michael Myers or Leatherface did, except Leatherface wasn't a supernatural entity. But there's a chance to start from scratch, dealing with Pamela's past before she had Jason, just like with what director Ty West did for X and Pearl, detailing why Mia Goth's repressed character became a murderous slasher. Friday the 13th can start with the root of the evil. Alright, doesn't sound bad right there, right? Now listen, and make no mistake, it'd be a tragic story. Working on how Pamela fought back against oppression and the patriarchy.
Darkness, my old friend.
Do I have to go on with this? Do I have to do this? Pamela's gonna fight against the patriarchy. Yes, Queen, slay. We don't fucking need that. We don't need that. That is the worst thing you could do to a franchise you're trying to revitalize it. Right there. Right there, you can see this writer wants modern identity, ideological bullshit shoved into this beloved franchise that you're trying to build back up. And what better way to rebuild your franchise by then putting modern messaging in it and just making it shit right from the word go? Let's not do that. Let's please not do that. Let's not do that. That is not what we want to do here. God, why? Why every time when we get something like this do we have to go down this fucking road? It is ridiculous. Let me move on a little bit with this, and then we'll kind of wrap it up there. Her lore is muddled, but the series can untangle it, focusing on her history, at home, and ensuing romance with the sinister Elias Voorhees being Jason's father. Bits and pieces can also get pulled from the novelizations, comics, and games, detailing how Elias abused her physically and mentally. This way, fans can fully connect to the trauma manifesting as Pamela, hearing voices and thinking her baby's pushing her to protect them, not just by killing Elias, but anyone else that threatens their safety. So they want this to be a female-centric story. It would be a much more fascinating story, laying the groundwork for when she dies. But more than that, like how Michael had Dr. Loomis, Pamela's past could get opened for rivals, hunters, and folks associated with Jason's legacy from way before he was born to come into the fray. It goes beyond Jason killing randomly down the line and proves Pamela's sins have indeed fallen on her son. Ultimately, fans would get their fill of nostalgic gore while gaining sympathy for a mother who sacrificed and just wanted what was best for her kid. No, we don't need that. We don't need it at all. We don't need a female-centric story. I'm not saying that you shouldn't develop the Pamela Voorhees character, but making it about her fighting the patriarchy, I mean, she married a piece of shit in Elias Voorhees or got with a piece of shit. The man was abusive to her. So this is the thing. It's not all about, well, it's the patriarchy holding her down. It's one piece of shit man that doesn't speak to a larger narrative. I mean, does she not have accountability for her actions? It's not like she was held captive, but I'm sure they would make it that way. So this is a horrible idea, and I think this could really doom the franchise before it gets up off the ground again. All right, so there we have it. Two very different articles, but both of them written with what I believe to be a, value of the franchise maybe in mind, but just going about it in the wrong way. Like I said, you don't want to make Jason a weapon of the military. That just screams Jurassic World franchise. Oh, we can militarize dinosaurs. Well, in this case, we can militarize a, unstoppable force of nature who's a killing machine, harnesses sheer power. And how could that possibly go wrong? Right? Exactly. And the second, making the patriarchy the villain of a new, fresh start to this franchise and painting Pamela Voorhees as the poor victim of all this. There's a way to do that that's not contrived. Unfortunately, blaming the patriarchy is not going to win you fans, bring back fans, I should say, of this franchise that has a very distinct formula that 8 of the films followed, and that works. That works. Nobody wants to see this deconstruction and, new Friday the 13th. I'm sorry. It just doesn't need to happen that way. But now it's your turn. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about Jason? Instead of Jason being the main character, then making a movie about Pamela, and of course, making her a victim of the patriarchy. Patriarchy, right? I see that as that's contrived and that's lazy and that's a way to ruin the franchise before it even gets a chance to get back up off the ground. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If today's the day I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel, ding the bell for notifications. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments. And that's it. There's 2 tiers for membership you can join at. $2.99 as a Kazooian, $4.99 as a Harvey Wakuian producer. I'm Etepo Queen of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all these. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all.
Day.